The more mindful we are, the more we practice being aware, the more we notice things that we don't like in our own habits. And when we see things that we don't like, we might find ourselves reacting to what we're seeing. There's this self-criticism, there's this sense of being bad. And we might find there are parts of us who are in that self-judgment are putting a lot of pressure on us to change and to change now. And if you don't change in the next 5 seconds, you're bad. And the result of that reaction, that self-judgment, those expectations, is that we end up just contracting further into those old habits, not knowing what to do, just kind of looping, seeing what we're seeing, not liking it, reacting to it, feeling worse, feeling increasingly more identified with that version of us who is engaging in the negative habit, whilst also through our own resistance fueling the part of us that judges the part that is engaging in this habit. So as we continue practicing whatever spiritual practice or mindfulness practice, whatever kind of inner work that we're doing, we've got to bring kindness to all parts of the process, softening our attitudes as if we're helping a baby who's trying to walk but keeps falling over. So it's okay that the baby doesn't know how to walk yet. It's okay that they're trying and falling over. And in that acceptance of the messiness of the process, that part, that baby, that person, that you, can access a sense of safety, a feeling of being supported, a feeling of spaciousness, like there is room for you to be, that actually encourages one to keep trying. Because it's okay to fall over, it's okay to misstep. So giving you a little example, personal example here, there was this interpersonal relational situation where I kind of came out of the haze enough to see where I wasn't being particularly nice, where I was letting a part of me who was more self-centered and judgmental kind of run the show. And so there was this internal dialogue of criticism, of shame, of blame, of you need to change your behaviour. So something inside of me almost shouting at me to change. And in that harshness, I just felt worse and worse. And I didn't even want to think about it, let alone take any kind of wise action. And I noticed after a few rounds of this kind of looping of this awareness of something that didn't quite align with who I knew I really was, and then resisting the change because I felt so shamed and judged by my own self, then this point that I've shared with you came into my awareness, this realization that the harder I was on myself, the less I actually felt capable of even of being anything other than what I had always been. And so I let go of force, and in fact I just dropped any expectation of action relating to this other person. I just put it all on hold and instead decided step one is not to shame myself into action or to even act. Step one is actually sitting with myself in kind, compassionate, understanding, loving awareness. Just being with myself in this bumpy effing ride, noticing things that I didn't notice before because they were just what I did. In kind, compassionate, understanding, loving awareness. And wow, like it was night and day, the difference. There was a palpable sense of relief, of space. And interestingly, before I knew it, I just naturally found myself doing what was right. And it didn't come from force, it didn't come from self-judgment, it didn't come from should. It was just this kind of unfolding, like this just natural, like I felt at ease, I felt understood, I felt spacious in myself. And it was like that compassion carried over from me to someone else. So the action was easy, it was a choice. It wasn't a should, it wasn't like some angry parent forcing me to apologise to Aunt, what's the name, with the mole on her chin. You know, it was a choice, it was just this natural realisation. You know, I was internally free, and that allowed me to do what someone who is internally free does, which is the right thing. So, gentleness, patience, kindness to yourself in all phases of your journey. So the part of you who's witnessing an uncomfortable habit, and also to the part of you who developed the habit at the young age, the part of you who knows that they're not quite there yet and really wants to be there yet and wants to be free. We have a lot of layers to work through in this process, and we can't rush it, and it's not going to come from force and pressure and more judgment. And when we are clear and clean with ourselves fully, then we can be clean and clear with other people. You can't jump from one extreme to another overnight. And you also can't expect yourself to be a certain way with someone else that you're not actually being with yourself, because you're judging yourself for not being there yet with the other person or whatever the thing is. So when we are clean and clear with ourselves, that is when we can be clean and clear with everything and everyone around us. So this isn't going to happen in an instant. Being the best version of ourselves isn't going to happen in an instant. But the paradox is, the more we accept that, the more we give love to that part of us who is in that uncomfortable growth phase, the more able we are to actually bloom and unfold. Essentially giving ourselves the love and the kindness and the understanding and the acceptance while everything is yet unfinished. This is essential to your process. So my recommendation is, just speaking from my own experience, is to notice where you are criticizing yourself, where you are judging yourself because you're not there yet, you're not that person yet, or because you acted in a small self way when you know that you can act in a big self way. Notice the judgment, notice the criticism, notice the shoulds, the pressure, the expectation, and see if you can just press pause. Don't try and get anywhere. Just be with yourself. Sit in the space, create the space to attend to your experience with kindness, with love. Let yourself experience acceptance, experience safety, and then the rest will happen in its own time. It will unfold, and it will come from a place that's authentic and that feels really empowering and that even feels enjoyable. So, hope that was helpful. Let me know and take care of yourself. And well done. Also, well done for putting one foot in front of the other. Just slow down. There's no rush.